Today, we have a tale of two people who are very close to Trump with two very different perspectives of the man himself. One is a staunch supporter who's always kind of been on the outside looking in, but is echoing sentiment seen in Project 2025. And the other formerly worked for him, was close to him in his administration, and is making damning confessions about the man himself. But we're going to start with the bad so we can end with the good. Here is Michael Knowles speaking on same-sex marriage.
And because he's trying to normalize the notion that a woman can have a wife, which is not possible. A wife has a husband. That's what makes a wife a wife. And a husband has a wife. That's what makes a husband a husband.
Now, first off, what he's saying here isn't even true. The definition of both wife and husband only includes being a married man or a married woman. Same-sex marriage has been around forever, legalized for fully 10 years now, or 9 years, almost 10 years going on it. So it's normalized as well. This is just homophobia. During Pride Month, how dare you? Which, I mean, this guy is just such a stain who can't really grow his own following or stay relevant. So he has to resort to these types of tactics to get any bit of views. But he's also echoing sentiments that are seen in Project 2025, which makes it kind of important if you actually read the 920-page document that Trump plans to enact if he gets elected. It ensures to take resources from same-sex families, stating that they want a biblical-based approach to marriage, which is only between a man and a woman, and that foster care and adoption clinics won't be penalized for discriminating based off that. However, we have interviewed someone who did multiple studies on the outcomes of children from same-sex parents. So, I mean, if you want more in-depth knowledge on it, go watch that. But the findings are much different than what's implied by him or implied in Project 2025 by Trump, by anyone on the right. Children in same-sex family households typically do better in school. They fare the same in health and behavior, and they're more likely to be in higher income households due to the cost to adopt, with parents who focus more attention on them because of the money they have to spend. So by all accounts, they're either the same or drastically better off.
I had an opportunity to go out in Los Angeles and sit down with the person who actually has a copy of the tape. And I heard his voice as clear as you and I are sitting here.
You have heard the tape?
I have heard
since
the
publication
tape.
Of this book?
Absolutely.
So you know it exists?
And I know it exists. And what I regret is that these people are probably trying to leverage it as this October surprise. I don't want to be a part of that. But I have heard for 2 years that it existed, and once I heard it for myself, it was confirmed what I feared the most, that Donald Trump is a con and has been masquerading as someone who is actually open to engaging with diverse communities. But when he talks that way, the way he did on this tape, it confirmed that he is truly a racist.
To be clear, this is Omarosa. She's someone who worked for Donald Trump as an assistant in his administration and is now yet another former employee to come forward about the truth of the character of the convicted felon. She's speaking on a tape that multiple people now, those who worked for Trump, those who haven't, those who worked on The Apprentice, all around him have heard of Donald Trump calling a black man the N-word. The person in question of owning the tape is on the fence about publicly releasing it due to the backlash and effects that it may have on his life, the extent that the Trump team is already going to keep him from doing so. But even those who worked for Trump have heard it and came forward to say, yeah, it's sickening and it's clearly racist. I mean, obviously, there's no justification for calling a black person a slur in any sense. And with Trump's history of racial housing discrimination, racial hiring discrimination, refusal to walk back the Central Park 5 comments, it comes as a surprise to absolutely no one who's not in the cult. It's rather just another thing that the MAGA cult will jump through mental hoops in a hopes to defend, even though multiple Apprentice producers have heard it, who worked with Donald Trump on the show. Tom Arnold, who has heard it, who worked with Trump on the show. Katrina Pearson, a Trump spokesperson in his administration, has heard it. Lynn Patton, a Trump appointee in his administration, has heard it. And Jason Miller, a former advisor to Trump, has heard it. But MAGA will say, these people are all rhinos. They're bought into the conspiracy. They're all against Trump, just like all the courts, just like all the Democrats, just like all the media, just like all the publications, just like everyone but us. Because to them, they are literally so bought into the cult that anything negative against the leader has to be fake. Anyone not bowing down to Trump only does so because they irrationally hate him and they're part of the large conspiracy against him, despite him doing nothing as president, never winning the popular vote, and costing his party every election since 2016, there's this grand scheme to get rid of him, against him, and only him. If you enjoyed this video, we're Social Society. We're a commentary channel influenced by politics, society, and the economy. We are pretty left-leaning on this channel, but we're open to our right-wingers as well. The biggest thing here is having conversations that get everyone to the bottom of the truth. If that sounds like something that could interest you, consider smashing that subscribe button, leaving us a like, or even commenting on this video. We even have memberships available as low as $3 if you'd like to support, because the only way we become a society is together.